perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh, I know. Want a lot of close shaves. There are so many carriages on the streets of London. You were very nearly flattened several times. Oh no, I didn't mean that. Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I was in awe of you. Oh, thank you. Now that your fervent exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for the court tomorrow. Yes, let's do that. Is everything alright? I suppose. I still can't quite believe it, that's all. And I'm here in England working as a lawyer, I mean. And the Old Bailey, no less. The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him standing in my shoes. It should be Kazuma. It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him. Yes. I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. You're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I've no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if he were here with us. Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you. Go to the prison. Okay, he's not here. Garadev room? Mr. Garadev appears to be out. Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Okay. Oh! Hello again, Inspector Gregson. What are you doing here? Well, we're hoping to have another look around, actually. The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, I know the score. Oh, yes, one other thing. The soap on the ledge outside the window. Did you find it? With the tea in it? Yeah, we found it all right. And there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it. It's with the identification section at the yard now. They're looking into it. The results should be available later today. That's wonderful news, thank you. Pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? Nothing. Forget it. Just making sure you don't disturb anything in here. Aw, W. Gregson, bro. I'm off con now. Went to try the Rainbow Six Siege event. Remembered it's a shit FPS. Well, it's time to hop back on, bro. If we're out of change, you wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat. For the needy, London's winters can be very harsh. That's true, but if you think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran on a small change. London's winters can be very harsh for the forgetful, too, then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Susato-san and I are going to make it to spring. That's true. We don't even have a meter at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove. Look how dark the sand on the floor is underneath the meter there. Yes, from all the water dripping out of it after the ice coins melted, as you established in court this morning. It's a very large and obvious stain, isn't it? Mr. Shamspeare must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose. It was an ingenious idea, I'll give him that. Are you looking for new clues, Inspector? On Lauren Van Zyke's orders? Yeah. Don't come back till you've got something for me, he says. Oh dear, poor you. Yeah, poor me, because we've already searched every bleeding nook and cranny in this place. I don't know what he expects, to be honest. Thank goodness for warm chips, that's all I can say. Well, At least he's honest. So it turns out that Mr. Shamspear wasn't eating the soap at all. That's right. The mystery of why he had it on the plate was holding a fork in his hand is solved. Yes, surprised his latest ice coin out of its mold. And in process, he accidentally broke the bar of soap in two. It certainly was hard to imagine, let alone deduce. Ah, the ill-fated teacups from which the two men drank on the ill-fated night. During their heated literary debate, yes? Who's stronger, Romeo or Juliet? Which sounds like it was quite a discussion. Now I think of it, I'm sure the two lovers in the play ended their lives with poison. That's fiction, Mr. Sada. Let's hope it stays that way. Honest until that one case. Yeah, bro. Hold up, why is the window closed? Britain's fucking tax laws. They count for windows as well. So if you can't pay the taxes, you brick up your window. The sun never shines in this room, thanks to that depressing bricked up window. Yet with enough determination, you can always remove the brick to set some soap outside, can't you? Sounds like a very wise life lesson, Mr. Sada. Alright. I don't think there's anything else in here we can find. Rat! What do you suppose is happening? Sounds like some sort of disturbance. Yes, I hear angry voices. Oh shit. Oh! Mistaking my foot, you were looking at my painting. The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. 'Twas foul indeed, the poison that mustache villain gaveth me. Forgive me, lady. I wish that you died from that poison. Oh wow. This looks rather ominous, doesn't it? Ah, look. 'Tis the lawyer from the land where riseth the sun. How now? What are you doing here, Mr. Shamspear? Mary, I do believe I am returned unto another work. He was looking. That's what he was doing. Looking at my terrible work. Easter fellow so dark clad. Faith, thy work in court this morning was wonderful. I do applaud thee. Oh, well, thank you. But that doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you tomorrow, does it? Anon, exunt. Motherfucker's weird. Mr. Shamspear might technically be the victim in this case, but there's definitely a lot more to it than that. It's very hard to pin the man down. I'm so sorry. I'm such an awful person. Ah, Miss Green. Is everything alright? Oh, yes. I mean, don't worry about me. Oh, I see. We're delighted that you'll soon be well enough to go home, Miss Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. I don't deserve it. Excuse me, lady. I need to talk to you. Rat! Oops. I am, thank you. I mean, people do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? Even people like me. Well, yes, it really was an ordeal, wasn't it? As far as I was concerned, I was just walking along in the snow one evening, minding my own business. And then completely out of the blue, I was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed unconscious for days. Of course, when I finally woke up again yesterday, the whole business had been cleared up already. What a terrible week it's been for you. Oh no. I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I'll look back on this fondly. With God, the photo's Shakespeare? Maybe. Or Shakespeare? Could be. Nothing more in here. Oh, Runo and Susie! Hooray, you're back! Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am. Look as immaculate presented as ever, Susie. Oh, you flatter me. Well, you couldn't have come at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups. Really? Thanks, Iris. But actually, what is that foul smell? Ah! The Wanderers have returned at last. Where on earth have the pair of you been? You been in court? Oh, for Mr. Mustache's case? That was today, was it? I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure you think you did. Well, we can laugh about it now. So tell me, how'd the trial go? Reasonably well so far. We managed to escape without a guilty verdict, at least. Really? I would have liked to see it. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long. Lord Van Zyke's an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes? Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Naruhodo. Not quite what I asked, but still. I love this song. Mr. Sholmes, whatever is that odor? Yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful. Ah, indeed. That's the scent of victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science. Oh, dear. All right, I'll bite. What's he up to now? Lord Barrock Van Zykes. Yes, an interesting sobriquet he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she is not found guilty by the courts, sooner or later the hapless soul will vanish from the capital. But vanish how exactly? By falling under a passing carriage or drowning in the Thames. Or succumbing to a sudden fever, or quite out of the blue, being set upon by a highwayman. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow. Otaku, hey man, good morning. Good morning, guy. Sorry, 1 second. Alright. It all seems a little far-fetched, really. Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mustache is fighting fighting fit for the time being, at least. That's not overly reassuring. If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that these acquitted are, well, by Lord Van Zyke's own hands. What's up with the Discord? It's all fucked right now? I don't know. Mine seems okay. Mine seems fine. Oh, why? Naturally, The man very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever these incidents occurred, the Reaper always had cast iron alibi. Really? And so his reign continued, but 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as our prosecutor again. That is, until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey. That bitter fight to the death could see with the Reaper's resurrection. And it really did end bitterly indeed. And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again. Poor Runo, I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky or incredibly unlikable. I think it goes deeper than just me. That's such a general loathing of all Japanese people. Oh, there's an outage? Mine's not working at all. Oh, well, there you go. So what is that indescribably foul smell? Ah, well, most probably this, I would say. What is that? My dear fellow, it is, of course, my latest invention. Chemical test that can identify whether or not tea is genuine at the drop of some tea. Oh my. There are some unscrupulous sorts of manning the stalls along some of the London's less frequented streets. Set a screenshot if you want. If you want, I mean, mine's fine, but I mean, it probably is down for some people. They regularly sell what purports to be high quality tea, but is in fact merely dyed leaves of drab flavor. How convenient. Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior. So when is one presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful, Iris. At the ready, Hurley. Let us add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens? It turned completely black. What a foul odor it's giving off. Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes and the more foul the odor, the better the tea is. It would appear that this cup was particularly fine Darjeeling. That's very ingenious. But what do you think? What do you think with that? Wait, what do you do with that black liquid now? Why, dispose of it naturally. Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you? There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes. Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam. Right. The point is, we are entering a new era of science. In the world of criminal investigation also. Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times. I regularly engage in this scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. The Herlock-Sholmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative technique is based. This little tea indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research. Forensic science. I suppose you should find out more about that. Japanese people. With Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending, be it Japanese as well as Mr. Sato and myself, I felt even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Zyke seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese. Indeed. It is an interesting observation. Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes? It was about 10 years ago that Barak von Zykes chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closet companion hailed from the Empire of Japan. No. What the? Tell us more, Mr. Sholmes. What happened? I believe I made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair. Oh, but... the veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course, I have no doubt. What the hell is happening, bro? For now, however, It is Mr. Mustache who is most deserving of your attention, I believe. What the hell is happening, bro? Everybody's like linked on this one certain case, bro. Like something iffy is going on with the entire cast right now, bro. Now they got Lord Van Zykes on this shit, bro. Why Cosma died on the boat? Something fishy going on. So your T-test is that an example of forensic science? Indeed it is. An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is high or inferior quality. Not a huge number of cases, then. Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints. Not yet accepted in our courts as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels there. I haven't even heard of them until recently. Which is partly why I undertake research in this field myself, of course. Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes? There are others in that field already. I harbor the company of inferior minds. Now, what am I researching? Is skin prints. Skin prints? A non-nomenclature of my own design, as is the chemical agent that makes it possible. It reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation. Brilliant, Mr. Sholmes. As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black. Throw on black! I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed. Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues. Ask the spirit, Runa. See you later. Yes, until later. No, Mr. Sholmes, we were thinking you'd come with us. You were? Yes, of course. You said it just a moment ago. You said that we'd witness your forensic talents in action. Ah, yes, I do recall saying something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later in all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, I might. Your commitment astounds me. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We'll eagerly await your arrival. Bye-bye, Runo. Bye-bye, Susie. There he is. Boom, boom. Mr. Sholmes, what are you up to over there? What a question indeed. Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene? Oi! What are you doing here, Sholmes? What are you up to over there? What are you doing over there? What are you doing here? Dear me, once a great detective, one is always under scrutiny, it seems. Is now the time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talents in action as you promised? The greatest of pleasure, my dear madam. What's all this? All this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruhodo. Herlock Sholmes' sensational skin print seeker gun. Moments ago, I took a sample from the teacup that was used by the victim. A sample? From Mr. Shamspeare's cup? Each individual leaves microscopic secretions on everything he or she touches. A sample of those secretions is all I need to produce this refined indicator solution. By liberally spraying the room with this chemical, everything the victim touched is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Here, try them on. There. Now spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed. Spray, how do I do that exactly? A little press of A on the area you're interested in. What is that stuff? It's like fog. A suspension of chemical indicators is a pressurized gas. It's the most efficient way to cover a large area. That was another invention I discovered incidentally whilst I was developing this idea. As you do. Go ahead, try it, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movements on the night in question. Bam, 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 bam. Something I'm missing in here, bro. Press A? What the fuck do you mean press A? It's a letter! Boop, 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 boop. The area I'm missing, bro. Oh, look, there are dozens of handprints here. Oh, wow. So there are a great many indeed, so much so that it's hard to make out any individual print, in fact. It sent a chill down my spine. Perhaps he was leaning against the wall while he admired this picture? Unlikely, I would say. It's a rather dull scene after all. And without wishing to state the obvious, you would generally admire a picture from such a close quarters, I feel. Oh, very true, Mr. Sato. It's a bit of mystery then. Okay. I was about to say, the carpet. Oh, look at this here. Ah, yes, interesting. A multitude of victims' handprints. Why are there so many of them on the floor in this one spot? Oh, that floorboard's lifted up a little bit. Jesus Christ, finally. Well, we sprayed Mr. Shone's amazing skin print indicator all over this room, didn't we? We did. But there are two places in particular that are of interest, I would say. The handprint on the floor there. And on the wall by the picture, you mean? Yes. I think the floor warrants closer investigation. I won't be a moment. Ah! What is it, Mr. Sato? Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. One of the floorboards has popped out. One of the, you mean, secret hiding place? Excellent work, Mr. Sato. So what do we have in here? Oi! What are you lot doing? Inspector Gregson, stand aside right this minute. It's my job to investigate there. No need, Inspector. You continue digging your potion of chips whilst we dig around on the floor here. Your fancy talk's putting me off my food anyway, Sholmes. A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need. Wow, a secret hiding place under the floor. What a find. Not a hiding place you can make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw. Tatami mat. No, I know, but I've never experienced one of these wooden floorboards to move either. It's got me wondering about the wall over there, too. Aren't you curious? Oh! I'll investigate at once. There's nothing behind the picture, sadly. Only the wall. How disappointing. But then, how do you explain the handprints? I really can't think why anyone else would have been touching the wall over and over in one place like that. Ew, bruh. Ew. There you are. A print for you. Nice. Oh, thank you very much. It's events you can make prints too. Now then, I wonder if Inspector Gregson has found anything under the floor there. I'm desperate to know. So am I. I don't want to know why their hands are all over there, bro. Ew. I'd love to know if there's anything hidden underneath the floorboard there. Allow me to ask Gregson now. After all, we're well acquainted. Inspector Gregson! Really, it's been too long! What is it, Sholmes? I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there. Seeing as we're such good friends. We're not friends. No, I suppose not. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. Ugh, I'd kill to know what was under that floorboard. Alright then, fair's fair. What? You did discover the hiding place after all. I suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you. Do it quickly, my dear fellow. If there's one thing I know about this man, is that he blows with the wind, as fickle as the weather. Oi, stop making me out to be some kind of nut. There were 3 items on the floor there. A newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know? So, ooh, this is the photograph I found. Looks reasonably recent to me. That's the kid. That's the kid that Miss Green has a photo of. It would appear to have been taken on the street in front of the house here. And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garadeb, the landlord, of course. But who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garadeb's son, perhaps? Perhaps. You can take that print if you like. Really? Are you sure? You can presume, therefore, that the yard already knows. The identity of the young fellow, that is. Ah, is that true? What are your thoughts on the TOS changes? Well, they reverted them back. I thought they were terrible changes to start. Terrible changes. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking information isn't one of my pastimes. My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out. Pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work. All the more reason I'm not telling you. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. I wonder, why a photograph like this was hidden under the floorboard? I mean, Mr. Shamspeare himself isn't in it. Photographic prints are still rare treasures in the East End. I imagine Mr. Garadeb was rather delayed to have been immortalized. Probably made a proud present of it. Now, this tin box looks interesting, doesn't it? Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If you were to find something that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be in the least surprised. Yeah, funnily enough, I've already had a look. It's completely empty. What? Shamespeare, give us a clue, man. You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Naruhodo. But anyway, at least we found out what's inside the box. Yes, thin air. It's empty, rather like how I feel inside. Is there nothing more to this box then? I wonder. Looks like this was cut out of the paper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester. How terrible. They made the headlines down here in London as well. The bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got him first. Oh my goodness, he committed a capital offense? Man by the name of Selden, nasty piece of work into burglaries and murder. They say the hoard he knocked off was worth about £1,000. A hoard? A treasure, you mean? Jewelry and the like, but he hidden it somewhere. No one knows where, and now he's dead. The papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell, or some such was the headline. Whereas I swear to God, the more I see you on the screen, the less I like you, and that is already a low bar. Why don't you like Gregson? Why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor? I suppose now you mention it, does seem a bit odd. I'll perhaps go over the paperwork we've got on Selden back at the yard, see if I can turn anything up. Cat! Mm. It's Natsume's cat. Oh look, it's that lovely little kitty cat. What's his name? It's Mr. Natsume's, isn't it? I don't think we ever asked him actually. Why don't we call it Wagahai? You know, like Mr. Natsume's refers to himself in Japanese. I wonder how he got in here. Clever cat. Oh, wonderful. Well then, Wagahai, here's something delicious I bought for you from the cat's meat man. Where are you going? Slow down. Couldn't be happier now, look. I just hope we can bring some happiness to his owner, too. Yo, Gregson, get off the ground, bruh. There's something behind here, bro. Excellent. What? Excellent what, Glow? I don't... The changes were dumb, and they should have never done them in the first place. Fuck. I'm looking for food. W food. Cat. Oh! Hey, buddy. Alright, I think everything we've got is good over here. No. But do I have to beat the Gregson, maybe? Manchester Strangeways Prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning, but suffered with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to be already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Condemned criminal dies of natural causes in prison. Well, it's a painter. We're missing something in here, bro. Anything? I don't think there's anything. He also had a fire theme too. I hate how he died, bro. That shit made me mad. Oh shit. Naruto-san, what do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions? I mean this. His katana? I never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma passed away, of course. No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it. When I have it at my side in Korra, I feel as though it gives me courage. Okay. I hope that the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but as yet, I've not found a single clue. I see. Okay. There should be something in the room we haven't seen yet. Bro isn't in here. Unless he is. No, he's not in here. I must be missing something in here, bro. Can't present anything to him. 'Tis confusion! I don't know, bro. So the Gyarados residence, I read the books, okay. I'm confused. Okay. Motherfucker. He's back. So he is. Mr. Natsume. Hello? I am a cat. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or Herlock Sholmes. I don't know about courts, or trials, or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat. Mr. Naruhodo, he's trying to escape from reality. Trying to? He already has, completely. So, what is your name, then? As yet, I have no name. Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too long to bring him back to reality. Do you think you could open your eyes again for us, Mr. Natsume? I am not a cat. It worked! Back in the real world. What's going on? What's going to become of me? No! Don't answer that. It's obvious. My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate. Mr. Natsume, no. This morning's proceedings in court prove that there's hope. Yes, yes. Local student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but the Reaper is omnipresent in court. My logics. Here, there, everywhere. What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Oh, yes, we must. My whole life, have I ever been so moved as I was today? No. Of course, I cast my mind back. There were perhaps one or two other occasions that moved me. I just blocked those out today. Being in that courtroom was the most moving experience of my life. Welcome to Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You're too kind. Skull and Yarn found the remaining tea, just as we deduced. They are analyzing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find a drop of poison in it. That's a solemn sworn Sosuke certainty. Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink the tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. And at the time, you were both completely fine. As shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamespeare then engaged in a Romeo and Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim then. That rotten Shamespeare. What have I ever done to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything at all. Right. What I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner. Well, you know what, Mr. Natsume? About the soap, of course. What else? Oh, dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am. If I had money, I wouldn't have chosen to live in an accursed existence in such accursed lodgings. Oh yes, you said it because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly, especially the room that I rent. The spirit of that capital offender who lived there still haunts the place, and it's trying to kill me. Capital offender. Why, I asked local student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire that next time you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps. What's this? It's a newspaper clipping that we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. Is the guy who died there the guy in the photo with the landlord? Is it the same guy as the capital offender? Maybe. Possibly. Ah, so he knew, did he? Sorry? About this man, Selden. A convicted killer, and the evil spirit behind the curse that afflicts my lodgings. What? He's already taken one young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another. A miserable, mustached, much maligned Japanese man. Mr. Natsume, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you know about this evil spirit. Bro knows something. The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now. At the time, he was hiding out in lodgings at Mr. Garrideb's house. What? He lived where you do now? That's right, yes, exactly where I live now. My very room. Oh my! Your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of capital offense? But before his sentence could be carried out, he died in the prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started. The curse. What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume? It already caused one death, a few months ago after the criminal passed away in prison. A man died in the room. The man who rented it after Selden, in fact. The poor lodger, he was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside. Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So that's the convict's curse, is it? Yes, well, that was the start of it. It's definitely gotta do something with the gas now, bro. Maybe Mr. Garrideb's doing something with the gas. Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Natsume? The official cause of death was asphyxia. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas. Oh. Gas. I only found out that after I signed the lease. When Mr. Garrideb told me later, I couldn't stop myself trembling. In fact, if I'd known beforehand, I'd probably have been too scared to take the room. Landlord's lease, luckily legal. Lucky for Mr. Garrideb, maybe, but not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsume. And now you believe this curse is affecting you? It is. At first. I just felt as though I was being watched. All the time. And then you talked about having nightmares, did you? The dead are trying to take me with them. They come for me to try to suffocate me. Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up. The room's as cold as ice. Why is your room so cold? London winters are too cold to bear without any heating overnight. But for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb into bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. But that's terrible. Exactly the same situation as what led to the previous occupant's death. And then there's what happened with Mr. Shamspeare last night, when he was mysteriously poisoned. It's clearly more to that incident that can be explained by a curse, though. Whatever could be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Garrideb's rooms. Gotta talk to the man himself, bro. Mr. Garrideb, you got some explaining to do, Buster. I wonder if you can tell us if this is the... This is extremely interesting just for the second case. I feel like all these cases in both of these games all intertwine with one another. That's how it's been so far. The first case was John H. Wilson. The second case was Cosmo's death. The third case was that Willy Wonka motherfucker. The fourth case was this guy. And then the fifth case was the government. Yeah, all these cases are intertwined. Ah, you're here now, Mr. Garrideb. White bally business is it for me, you know. Getting out and about. Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance? Naturally. Fate of my lodging is hanging in the balance and all that. Not a trial to miss. The fate of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes. Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the old haunted lodgings or some such. Ah, well, at least he knows. Makes you wonder what the blazes is going on, don't you know? Yes, I'm sure it does. In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsumi's other trial just 2 days ago. You were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what happened. Stopped off at the prison on the way home, in fact. Beastly business. I see. So, what brings you to my haunted abode today, eh? Some fishy fellow from the Far East, and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have something of a magnet for rum fellows of late. Thanks to that bally curse. The convict's curse, you mean? Ah, heard the stories, have you? Rotten scoundrel was arrested here. Then the next chap in the room goes and keels over. Then there was that woman who dropped dead just outside the street, not to mention the actor yesterday. Am I next, eh? Well, can't help but get the collie wobbles, can you? When you say the woman who dropped dead outside on the street, do you mean Miss Green? Because Miss Green, who was stabbed by the knife, and Mr. Shamspear, who was poisoned last night, are both very much alive still. Yes, well, so is that blasted convict's curse, it seems. Personally, I should be quite content with such logics. Bath, toilet, a fireplace, and a fascinating history. Why, sound like the lap of luxury. I'm not so sure about that. Well, there's no bath or toilet included, and no fireplace either. But you do not look out for your tenants, do you? You do look out for your tenants, do you? While watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up here. Yes, never hurts to keep an eye on things. In case there are any mishaps or such like. I think you've had your mishap already, sir. Wow. That's not helpful, Mr. Schultz. Heaven forgive me, the words just came to my lips. The fishy fellow from the Far East, and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? There's no need for that, Mr. Garrideb. That's right, Mr. Natsume is in no way fishy. He is undeniably peculiar, however. Is it right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away? Yes, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone, and he popped up the very same day. Never came across a chap so keen for a place with a background, as it were. I don't think it was Vroom's background he was keen on, much as the cheap rent, actually. So how long has Mr. Shamspeare been lodging under your roof? A failed actor trap? Let me see. Oh, of course. It's been 3 months now. Quite sure of it. Only 3 months? It's quite new here too, then. And to what do you owe your certainty in that regard, Mr. Garrett, if I might ask? Well, it was that Selden scoundrel, as it happens. Selden? The convict, you mean? Do Selden and Shamspeare have some kind of connection, then? That convict chap, Selden, passed away in the clink 3 months ago now, you see. Some malady or other. Yes, we see the report on the newspaper at the time. Well, it was only 3 days later that the tragedian showed his face. The actor fellow. Really? Yes, I remember quite distinctly. I'm not reading his shit, bro. Why does he want... Oh, he wants the one... He wants the one the convict was in. Oh, it's all that shit where the Ooh. All that stolen shit in that middle one? His loot remained undiscovered. From what I heard at court today, it sounds like the chap was thieving gas. And he was 3 months in arrears with the rent, too. Yes, the fellow was a bally player, alright. Thank you for your condor, Mr. Garrett. We are most grateful. By the way of appreciation, allow me to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe. Put on my crown. I have immortal longings in me. Longings in me? What happened to you? Shakespeare, my dear fellow, one of his most famous lines. I wish to divulge my own learning of the subject, for I have a turn for literature too, you know. Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines then. Mr. Garrett, can I ask you to look at this photograph? Is that your son who's with you there? No, not at all. He was a lodger here once. Duncan Ross was his name. Duncan Ross. A street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shot just for kicks, really. Was he by any chance the lodger before Mr. Natsume? Yes, that's right. This guy is the one that died before Natsume. So this guy is a convict who died and was trying to get back to his apartment, but a person was already living in it. The person living in it, probably the kid who was in the photo, so he killed him with the gas. Now he's trying to do that same with Natsume, Soseki. Something along those lines. The young gentleman who died in the room in mysterious circumstances. Just what Mr. Mustache was waiting for, one might say. Yes, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the first flight of stairs before the Japanese chap. Would you mind telling us a little more about him? Yes, Duncan Ross. Young chap was attending art school. Had to work to pay for it, mind. Moved into the middle floor room about a year ago after the criminal Selden was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them. A history of cheap rent, maybe, yes? Yes, well, anyway, it was one morning about a month ago now. Hadn't quite worked out the old trick of watching the gas lamps to see what my lodgers were up to at the time. Slow down, man! I was rather tardy to discover what had happened. Smell of gas that alerted me it was. Ah, yes. Synonymous with the smell of death. Caught the police straight away, of course, and the officers kicked the door off its hinges. But once we got inside, we all bally collapsed. Because of the gas? Yes. Room was full of it. No air at all. Stove must have gone out while the poor chap was sleeping in his bed. So Mr. Ross suffocated to death. Of course, the police gave me a sound taking off because the gas pipe were so old and all that. Can't tell you how much it sent me back to have a lot replaced all over the house. But even after you had all that work done, Mr. Natsume says the same thing. The stove goes out at night whilst he's asleep in bed. Well, that's the Bali curse, the convict's curse. I've done my duty as a landlord now. Someone's feeling defensive. Ah, that reminds me, actually. Yes? About young Duncan, the night before the poor chap perished. He'd been writing a letter of affection to a young lady. Oh, is this Miss Green? A love letter, you mean? Yes, where did I put it now? Ah, here it is. Left it on my desk. If you'll excuse me. Let me see now. What does it say? To my most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Do you think that we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence? My dear Miss Usato, that is precisely why I prefaced my reading with, if you'll excuse me. I will not excuse Mr. Sholmes, no! Sadly, he didn't address it, though. So I have no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really. I see. That's going to play on my mind. But really, the identity of Mr. Ross's sweetheart has no bearing on the case. I think we should leave well alone. Well, yes, I suppose you're right. Indeed. The intended recipient's address is missing, however. There is a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Mr. Sholmes, please, I've already had to chastise you about this once. My undying love to you, my colorful darling. Olive Green. Ah. Olive Green? The woman who was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside this house 5 days ago? The victim of the last case Sosuke-san was in court for, who regained consciousness only yesterday. Shockers! It's just chance that her name has come up now? Could it possibly be a mere coincidence? Fatty! Alright, bro, what do you call Fatty, bro? That's so predictable. Mr. Naruhodo, whatever can this mean? Reading personal correspondence can have its merits. You see, Miss Usato? Fucking Shulbs. Yo, bro, slow down! She's fucking fat. Yo, bro, stop. Alright, guess we're going to... So, pretty much right now, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish the trial today. I'll have to finish it next time. But I'm gonna go until we get to the trial. Why, man? You're gonna hurt yourself, bruh. Mr. Naruhodo, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. See, Miss Green is well enough to just be discharged at last. This is good news, but hopefully, just before she leaves. Ah, what is it? Miss Green! What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back. Finish trial, please. Joe, I can't. I gotta work tomorrow, bro. It's almost EP time. I already know this trial probably has about 2 hours left, bro. Oh, hello, everyone. What are you all doing here? The doctor has said I can be discharged, so I'm just getting my things together. Miss Green, what were you just doing? Oh, nothing, really. I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed for me, that's all. Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you, if that's alright. I don't really have anything else to tell you. Alright, she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can't coax something out of her. Yeah, I don't think this is anything. Maybe is that the key to the middle? Interesting. Wait, did we not take the love letter? Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Ross. You knew him, didn't you? Oh no, I'm so sorry. The bottle of medicine fell down when she did. Oh, Miss Green, are you alright? Miss Green! I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you like that. No, it's alright. I just wasn't expecting it. How do you know about Duncan? Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter to you. It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan, a year ago now. He was working to fund his studies, just to becoming a professional artist one day. And the two of you became romantically involved? Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually. That's why I decided to move into a cheaper room to save money for the wedding. That's what led him to Mr. Garadeb's. Yes, he told me he found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then, 1 month ago, that's when it happened. We're so terribly sorry, Miss Green. Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose. Poor Miss Green. She looks desperately sad. I was starting to think that's just her look. But now I think... And now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her. I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but... Would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon. Ask about the key, we can't! Oh, I'm so sorry, we didn't mean to hold you up. Of course, we'll be on our way. Mr. Naruhodo! The rat! The rat! Look at the rat on the floor! What, Mr. Sholmes, I didn't realize you were here. But of course I was, my dear fellow. Watching intently from the shadows as always. The rat's dead. Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta grab water. Fucking AOW rat! No! The rat's fucking dead! I knew the fatty was sus! The rat's dead! Maybe Miss Green's out for revenge, bro. Yo, bro, why do you keep calling her a fatty? I'm trying to see if got any good cookies left. I love this song too, so. Nope, no good cookies left, bro. Hell. Shut up, Dylan. Well, make your presence known next time. Mr. Sholmes, what's this about? Something which occurs to me with some regularity. Mr. Sato, is this? Why do detectives insist on such an ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened? instead of preventing a case before it happens. That's what sets a great detective apart. Play something else? No. What do you mean? There's a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruhodo. So let us avert disaster. Let us prevent this case from ever happening. With nothing but careful observation. Alright. The clues you need are set before you. You need only look, and you cannot fail to see. You can do it, Mr. Naruhodo. I knew you can. Move! The rat! That mouse seems to be dead. Look, I didn't notice it before, did you? I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spilled out in the bottle. Was she gonna kill herself? Probably saw, but Twitch immediately rolled back their... Yeah, I saw. They were dumb to even do it. That's the bottle that Miss Green was about to drink from when we arrived. You don't think... Ah, I see you've come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. That of a tragedy about to take place. Yes, I think it's falling into place. Miss Green, the content of the bottle you had before has spilt out onto the floor. The poor mouse that drank it has sadly died. Ah, I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Don't worry, I will attend to the mouse presently. Miss Green, were you intending to go to the same way as that rodent? To take your own life? Ah! Once we'd left, you would have put it in your lips again, wouldn't you? And take the poison. She was gonna kill herself. Miss Green, please talk to us. It definitely feels as though this car must be relevant. I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it in her hand in what can only be described as a very tense atmosphere. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it. You know what I was gonna say. Yeah, don't say it, Gorilla. Not the time, bruh. 10 seconds later, and we would have had a ride at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green. Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted. Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine? Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctors come to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while, so he snuck this out when he wasn't looking. It conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains. I'm afraid I don't really know. But I thought, if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow. Oh, please, Miss Green. Don't talk of such things. Well, it seems clear now that it contains poison. I like that. The moment something very serious was about to happen, like Miss Green committing suicide, Sholmes was dead-ass accurate about what was about to happen without the whole Sholmes deduction minigame. Yeah. W. Sholmes. Yes, that poor little mouse is proof of that. Oh no. Oh, it's all my fault. What have I done? I shall remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection? No, none. This whole case has been flipped. Oh! That's the other piece of the envelope! Neither the sender's name or address appear to be written on the envelope or the card. It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in the hospital here. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Wait a minute. The 17th of this month? That's the day you were stabbed on Briar Road. In 5 p.m. It is precisely the time when the incident occurred. The Slug and Salad. Yes, a pub on the northern corner of Briar Road. Briar Road being the street that Mr. Garadev's house is on. Does this mean that... Yes, I'm sure you've guessed. That day when I was struck in the back by the knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad. Goodness. So that's what you were doing on Briar Road that day. I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything. Yes, I'm very sorry to have had dragged up such painful memories for you. No, it's fine. Miss Green. Please, promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend has the bottle now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison, and I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. It might sound a little conceited, but well, that's how all this has made me feel. Aww. No, shut up, Gorilla. Leaving Miss Green and say Bartholomew's behind. We made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. W Fatty. I gotta call her Fatty, bro. Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigative trail for today. Yes, it's late. And, Mr. Naruhodo? Did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think? Details about Mr. Shamspear and Mr. Garadev's lodging, the convict Selden. There are many facets to this case, and we're yet to see the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling, anyway. Fatty is her name now. I can't help wondering about the results of the analysis. Into Mr. Natsume's tea, you mean? Yes. Will they have found strychnine in it or not? Well, I fear that either way, it'll be hard to escape the grip of our friend, Mr. Reaper. Oh dear. Yes, Barak Van Zykes. But I wish you every success, of course, although I was late to rise this morning. Tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend the trial. Mr. Sholmes, you going to come? Indeed. Whatever happens, I shall be there. Assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning. Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's cause until the very end. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people. But away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. Sosuke-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here. And so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a new dawn for all of us. We're technically still in the past, by the way. So this is interesting.